Bible tells you about when they came into power. Right? Read that one more time.
Whereas Edom saith,
Whereas Edom, their nation, said,
we are impoverished,
but
we will return and build the desolate places.
That's called what? Pilgrimage. How did they come to this land? They came here, and that's why they had the spirit to just kill and destroy things, because they didn't have anything prior to.
There's a king in Africa that had all this gold.
You talking about Mansa Musa?
Him. Like, even to this day, he would still be like a bazillionaire. Because I've seen a picture of him, and I did see somebody like bowing him. They took some of his gold, but he's still like rich, even though he gave him the gold.
That's right. Well, yeah, most definitely.
Because Africa has a lot of resources, even though they try to paint them as like poor and impoverished. Like all of the resources pretty much come from Africa. It seems like.
Yeah. Exactly. Why is all the other nations are trying to go there to take literally this natural resources? Not just the so-called white man, but the Chinese man as well. But the point of the matter is, Edom, that nation of people, said, we're impoverished, we're gonna build one day. And guess what? It actually happened. Read.
Thus said the Lord of hosts, they shall build.
The Lord said they will build. The Lord allowed the so-called white man to be chiefs and rulers over the world. They shall build, but what?
But I will throw down.
God said he's going to eventually throw them down. Do you remember the empire of Egypt? How that was a vast and mighty kingdom? What eventually happened to it? God destroyed it. Then you had the Syrian captivity. Right? The Syrians had rulership at one point. God eventually destroyed it. Babylon, the Babylonians, God eventually destroyed it. Right? So on and so forth. Greeks, right? Then you had Rome. Now you Persian enemy. I skipped that Persian enemy. And then now you have America. Every great kingdom is set for a fall. God prophesied that the so-called white man will come into power, but he will eventually destroy them. Right? And that's why God said he hates them, because of what they did specifically on the earth. Which is what? Give me Amos chapter 1.
I was going to say, because I will admit that, like, if you listen to slavery, they did some unthinkable. Like, I don't know how people come up with stuff that they come up with, like the babies, alligators, and stuff like that. Like,
the only way that happen is if you don't have a soul.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, there's no way.
And then they always have, you ever watch like movies and stuff, they always want people to bow down to them. They have to bow down. Like, that's, I feel like they're like the only way to say that.
They do. Now, where do you find that in the Bible? What you have to realize is you have to tie real life to the Bible. Don't just read the Bible as it's some philosophy book, because it's not. The Bible is about real historic events that has happened and will happen on the earth. And it's about real races of people. Strategically, or specifically rather, your race, the Israelites. Right? Read that.
Book of Amos, chapter 1, verse 11.
Right? This is what God said.
Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom.
For 3 transgressions of Edom.
And for 4.
So 3 is a spiritual number, a number of completion. After you go past that, it's overboard. For 3 transgressions of Edom, meaning you completed the wickedness that you've done, but guess what? They added more wickedness on top of that, like you said, feeding babies to alligators. They did worse than that.
Oh, I know.
Right?
Oh, I know.
Barbecues.
They used to take the men, like the men of the household, and like rape them for their kids and wives to like emasculate them. Because what are you gonna say when you go back to your area? You just as white man. Like they was on some other stuff.
And what happens subconsciously to the children after you rape that man in front of his wife?
They don't respect
in
the
front
dad.
of his, in front of,
Because you're not about to come and say something crazy to me. You just said that white man.
That's
Yeah.
right. So whose family structure is still suffering from those effects? It's called post-traumatic slavery disorder. We suffer from that. Post-traumatic slavery disorder. From all the heinous acts that were strategically done to us.
That's why Jamaicans don't like it. They don't like it because it used to make them like, yeah, they used to be on.
That's right. So the Lord said,
They really did.
That's right. So the Lord said, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for how much?
And for 4.
For going overboard for the transgression, the Lord will what?
I will not turn away thy punishment
The Lord is going to judge them for what they did. Read.
thereof, because he did pursue his brother.
Who's the brother? We read in Genesis chapter 25. I don't think you got a part of that, but go back to Genesis chapter 25, verse 21. So the Lord tells us about our inception, how we even came about on the earth, right? Read that.
Genesis chapter 25 and verse 21. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife.
Read.
Because she was barren.
Because she was barren. Read.
And the Lord was entreated of him.
So Isaac is one of our forefathers. His wife was barren, not able to bear children. Read.
And Rebekah, his wife, conceived.
He prayed to the Lord. Now his wife is able to get pregnant. Read.
And the children struggled together within her.
Now that she's pregnant, there's children within her that struggle. Read.
And she said, if it be so, why am I thus?
Read. If this is supposed to be a blessing from God and you prayed and asked God for this miracle, why am I having so much pain trouble? Read.
And she went to inquire of the Lord.
So she went to go see a prophet herself. Read.
And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
He prophesied to our foremother and said, 2 races of people is in your womb. Read.
And 2 manner of people.
These 2 races have 2 different manners, 2 different spirits, 2 different beliefs. Read.
Shall be separated from thy bowels.
They're going to be separated because you're going to find out in due season that anytime they're together, there's always conflict. Read.
And the one people shall be stronger than the other people.
One race is going to be stronger than the other race. Read.
And the elder shall serve the younger.
The elder's job is to be a servant to the younger. So we're going to see who comes out first. Read.
And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled,
Read.
behold, there were twins in her womb.
Read.
And the first came out red.
The first came out what color?
And the first came out red.
So again, this is the first description of a color, a race of people in the Bible outside of the original color, which is your color, our color, melanated, dark. The first came out what color?
And the first came out red.
Red meaning no melanin, a lack of melanin. All right? This is the mark that God put on so-called white people. This is another reason why God doesn't love them. All right? Because what? When you go outside, the sun comes out every day. If you're getting cursed by the sun that God created, by sun cancer, skin cancer, that's not a blessing from God. God stripped their melanin from them. So how could God love them? This is in the Bible. The first came out red, read.
All over like an hairy garment.
Read.
And they called his name Esau.
And they called his name Esau. His name even is a curse. Esau in the Hebrew means, the word is Ishashua, which means wasted away is he. He wasted. So if you were to actually read this and you knew your original language, you would say, and they called his name wasted away is he. That's literally his name. So how could God love all people if he's calling a race of people, they're wasted? You see that? But we were taught, you go to school, you go to the local church around, well, God loves everybody. John 3:16. And they misinterpret that scripture, but not show you the other deep things about the scriptures. Right? So in the Bible, God said he hates Esau. Right? So we would be Jacob, we would be Israel, and they would be Esau. Now to prove to you that we're Israel, or we're God's chosen people, first of all, did you know that God had a chosen people? You didn't know that God had a chosen people. So I would be foolish to just sit up here and just tell you that God has a chosen people and not show you. So I have to show you that out of the scriptures, right? Give me Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 1. Give me Isaiah chapter 44 verse 1. Read that first.
Look at Isaiah chapter 44, verse 1.
Listen to this.
Yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant,
Read.
and Israel,
Israel,
whom I have chosen.
did God choose Esau? But we now know that there's other races on the earth, because it said 2 nations are going to come out of this woman's womb. But God said he chose who? Israel. Right? And there's even other races that God didn't mention that he chose. Because God said he chose what race again? Israel. Now, this is what God told the Israelites. Deuteronomy 11 and 26.
Deuteronomy 11 and 26.
Now we're going to go on a little path, a little segue to prove to you that we are those chosen people in the Bible. Let me read that.
Behold, I set before you this day a blessing and a curse.
I set before you this day a blessing and a curse.
A blessing if ye obey the commandments of the Lord,
So if we obey the commandments, we'll be blessed. Read on.
your God, which I command you this day. And a curse if you will not obey the commandments.
So if the Israelites don't keep the commandments, what's going to happen to them?
How they gonna y'all with y'all, they gonna
All
lie.
right, read it one more time. And a curse.
And a curse if you will not obey the commandments.
So if they don't obey the commandments, what will happen to the Israelites? They will be cursed. Let me do Deuteronomy 28:68. Let's get straight to the point.
I gotta go.
Deuteronomy 28:68.
This is one of the curses that will happen to the Israelites.
And the Lord.
Now, let me ask you this. How did we get to America?
They say slave ships.
Slave ships? All right. Is that in the Bible?
I'm not sure.
All right, read that.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
God's going to bring the Israelites where again?
Into
Into
Egypt
Egypt
again.
again.
You know the story of Moses? When Moses went into Egypt and said, Pharaoh, let my people go?
I know it's like the most basic story, but
Well, I'm going to say account because it's not a story because it actually happened.
okay.
But Moses went into Egypt and freed his race of people from another race of people out of slavery. He said, let my people go. And then God helped him plague that other race of people. And then the children of Israel, the chosen people, were freed out of slavery. After that account, God told them to keep the commandments. If they don't, this is going to happen to them. That they have to go to Egypt again. Meaning the condition that they were in Egypt before they were free. They were slaves in Egypt. Give me Exodus 22.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 2.
Listen to this.
I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt,
God brought the Israelites out of Egypt. What's another word for Egypt?
out of the house of bondage.
So bondage. Another word for bondage would be slavery. God said if they don't keep the commandments, they got to go to Egypt again, meaning bondage again. Now, what's the name of the people that we're reading about? Israelites, right? Read that again from the top.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
The Lord's going to bring the Israelites to Egypt again or bondage again for breaking the commandments with what?
With ships.
How are they going to get to Egypt?
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
What race of people historically went to slavery on a ship as a race of people?
Black.
That's right. So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. The transatlantic slave trade prophecy fulfilled, where you were sold, right, by other melanated people that aren't your people, sold you into slavery to another race of people. That's what the transatlantic slave trade is about. It wasn't about your race of people sold themselves into slavery. No, it was another melanated people that have another forefather that isn't chosen by God that sold the chosen people to another race of people. That's what that was about.
Does that come into war? Like, you know, when you go into war with each other, and then like say we're at war, and I literally sold because I lost. You're selling me into slavery.
Give me Joel chapter 3 and verse 3. I'm show you what exactly what.
Because I
that's
have people say it wasn't even white people, it's the black people that took me.
That's true.
No,
Yes, I've been told the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, we was
So-
told that. Now let's clear that confusion up. You see how earlier you said, well, that's what things about with it. Yeah. So we're here to clear the confusion up. Right?
See it, Joel?
Joel chapter 3 and verse 3. Right? Just a lot of confusion, right? Because earlier you know, you came up, you said, what'd you say? Some contradiction about turn the other cheek. Well, the Lord commanded us to turn the other cheek towards one another, not to just anybody. Don't let no white man come up and slap you. And you talking about, well, I'm following the commandments, I'm gonna turn the other cheek. No, that's not what they're talking about. Now, if your brother slap you, you can amend that. You can, all right, brother, you know, I forgive you, brother. Right? But don't let no enemy come up to you that hates you, that puts you in slavery on a ship, and you just turn the other cheek. That's not being a warrior-like mentality. Right? Read this.
Book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 3.
Listen to this.
And they have cast lots for my people.
Casting lots is making bets. Right? Who do they make bets for? My people, God's people, the Israelites. Read.
And have given a boy for an harlot.
So they took boys and trade for harlots, prostitution. Right? Read on.
And sold a girl for
They
wine.
sold girls for wine so that they might get drunk and have a feast and a ball. Read.
So they might drink.
So that they might drink. Read on.
Yea. And what have ye to do with me,
He's going to name the specific races of people that did this. Read.
O Tyre and Zidon?
Tyre and Zidon go back to a man named Ham. These are Hamitic nations. Hamites are people that you see in so-called Africa that put lip disc in their lips, bones in their nose, etc. That's a whole different race of people than you. Don't think that just because you got dark skin, you the same race of people. You ever heard an Ethiopian call himself African? You heard an Ethiopian say, I'm African.
I don't know. I've heard something. I'm not gonna lie.
You never heard it. Ethiopia.
I hear a lot of Africans say like they're the chosen people because they're from Africa and like we're the sellouts because we got sold and slavery and we're watered down. Yeah, like that's rhetoric, right? Okay.
We're finding out who the chosen people are.
Okay.
But the point of the matter is, have you ever heard a South Sudanese person call themselves African? No, they're gonna call themselves by the name in which they are. South Sudanese. I go back to Ham. I'm Ethiopia. I go back to Kush. I'm a Kushite. Right? Letting you know that all melanated people are not the same. So how could you sell yourself if you're finding out that these people aren't your people? Why do you think so-called Africans don't like you? Because they know that you're different than them. They'll tell you. Tell an African, tell a South Sudanese or Ethiopian that they're a Negro. They're gonna say, a Negro? They're gonna cuss you out. Say, I'm not black.
Okay, well, I do have a question about that because I've experienced that to be the case. However, when it comes to Caucasians, it's a different energy. Based off what I've seen in my personal experience.
What do you mean?
Like they, I
When it
don't
comes
want
to-
to say that they want
against us.
validation. It's like they,
Yeah, but
they're a little bit more pleasant, more positive, more like,
Who, Africans are more pleasant to Caucasians?
yes, based off what I've seen.
Yeah, because
in
the
my life.
white man conquered everybody. Everybody's nice to the white man. He's the devil. He's a deceiver. Why would you not be nice to the devil? You're scared of him. He's the boogeyman. Right? He's the one that deceived the whole entire earth. Give me that in Revelation chapter 12 and verse 11. All right, real quick. Then we're going to go back to the point of the matter.
Revelation chapter 12 and verse 11. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb
Read.
and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death.
It's talking about us, the chosen people. You know?
Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them.
Read.
Woe to the inhabitants of the earth
Destruction to the inhabitants of the earth.
and of the sea,
Read.
for the devil
The deceiver, the devil,
is come down unto you,
the white man has come down unto you, overtaking everything. Read.
having great wrath,
Read.
because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
Yeah, he had a short time on the earth, so he was able to pillage every nation and race of people. Right? So everybody's afraid of the so-called white man. Everybody bowed down to the so-called white man. Right? So the Lord, now check this out. Tyree and Zidon, we told you that those are Africans, but you're not African. You're different. These are dark races of people. They took your people for a boy for a harlot, girl for wine, read on.
Ye, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine?
All the coast of Palestine, read on.
Will ye render me a recompense?
Check this out, read.
And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head.
God is going to judge them. Why? Read on. Because what?
Because ye have taken my silver and gold,
The silver and gold is God's people. Read. The black, Hispanic, and Native American, so-called.
and have carried into your temples
You carried my people into your temples, your Catholicisms, your religious beliefs. You carried my people into your educational systems. Read.
my good and pleasant things. The children also of Judah
The children of Judah did you take?
and the children of
The
Jerusalem
children of Jerusalem, which are the Israelites,
have ye sold unto the Grecians.
you sold my people to who?
To the Grecians.
Tyree Zidon and the Palestinians sold the children of Israel to the Grecians. Who are the Grecians? So-called white people. That's a trade. You got these people selling another race of people to another race of people. That is like war, right? That is war, to the answer to your question. Now, back to Deuteronomy 28:68. The Lord said the Israelites will go to Egypt again on what? On a ship. Read on.
by the way whereof I spake unto thee.
Read.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
Read on.
And there
When you get off the ships from the train that these people took you from, what's going to happen?
ye shall be sold.
Damn. You got off the ship, now you sold. Right? Who are you sold to?
Unto your enemies.
Sold to other races of people. Not sold to yourself. Sold to other races. So that's the Lord showing us who we are in the scriptures. That's why the Lord says that he doesn't love everybody. Right? Go back to Malachi chapter 1, where we want to round it up with this. The elder told me to point this out in regards to, y'all know what that is? In the middle of the street.
monument in the circle. Remember the circle.
I know it's something like historical thing.
It's a historical thing.
I don't even notice it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like,
Well, guess what? We just read about it in the Bible. That monument, when you walk inside of it, you're walking on the same place where your people were sold.
Slave market.
If you go inside it, they got names in there.
Yeah, names.
Yeah, it's names in there. Your people marched up and down this street
They haven't taken the plaque.
in shackles,
They haven't taken the plaque.
getting whooped and beat by the white man, had their names changed, castrated, finagled with, and later on down the line, now you're here, not knowing who you are, but finding out who you are. Because it was prophesied that we would find these things out in the last days. So this is why the Lord said he hates Edom. In the Bible, he hates white people because they got the ability to tell you who you actually are. They can right now change the trajectory of our race of people, of how we're at a lower state, how we're killing and robbing each other, how we're the most poor and least economic group of people on the earth. They can do that, but guess what they're not gonna do? They're not gonna tell you the truth. They're not gonna do it. That's why God said he hates them. But you go to their church, you go to their Catholicism, you go to their, they'll tell you God loves everybody. And they'll misinterpret scriptures. Read on.
Malachi chapter 1 and verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places.
Read.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts.
They returned and built all of this. Read.
They shall build.
They're going to build. They built up New York. They built up Dubai. They built up all these different places. California. Read.
But I will throw down.
God is going to throw down in World War III. Read.
And they shall call them the border of wickedness.
God said there's a race of people on the earth that are the border of wickedness. Read.
The people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever.
The people against whom the Lord has what?
Indignation forever.
Indignation is a great hatred. God said there's people on the earth whom he hates. A great hatred. Read on.
And your eyes shall see, and ye shall say, the Lord will be magnified from the border of Israel.
That's right. So you're finding out that you was lied to.
I'm sorry. Hey, I made it back. Do you mind if I call you back? I'm kind of busy right now. I'll call you back. Yeah, thank you for checking in. Okay, talk to you later.
Have you been up here before?
Yes.
Yeah, you look familiar. Right? Memory. Right? But the point of the matter is, you found out who are you actually. We're the
great.
Israelites.
You said, what are you?
We are the Israelites. Right. Now, what is the Lord? Why are we in this condition?
Because okay.
I mean, that's
Because they put us on slave ships.
why did that happen? Why did God allow that?
Because God, according to what you read, God hates that.
That's true. Now, let's go back, right? Give me Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse
Matter of
15.
fact, give me Deuteronomy 11 and 26.
Deuteronomy 11 and 26. Behold, I set before you this day a blessing and a curse. A blessing, if ye obey the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you this day, and a curse, if ye will not obey the commandments of the Lord your God.
Why did God allow them to put us on ships?
They didn't obey the commandments.
Who didn't obey the commandments?
Caucasians did not obey the commandments.
God not speaking to them.
We didn't obey the commandments.
That's right. God is speaking to us. We're the chosen people. Why would God speak to them? He's going to speak to the people in which he chose. He said, hey, do this. If you don't do this, this is going to be the punishment thereof. All right, give me Psalms chapter 107 and verse 10. 9 and 10. So, yeah, verse 9.
The Psalm chapter 107 and verse 9. For he satisfieth the longing soul and filleth the hungry soul with goodness.
It's talking about the Most High. God satisfied the longing soul. Read on.
Such as sit in darkness
And the people that sit in darkness, which is us, read.
and in the shadow of death,
We're in the shadow of death. We've been in the shadow of death. Right? Read on.
being bound in affliction and iron.
Who is bound in affliction and iron? That's right. Physically we were. Right? Mentally and spiritually we are also. Why did that happen? Read.
Because they rebelled against the words of God.
Why did it happen?
Because they rebelled against the words of God.
Because white people are evil.
Because they rebelled against the words of God.
It happened because we rebelled against the word of God. So God set them up to punish us. It's that simple. We were already created to be righteous. They were already created to be evil. If we do wrong, God's going to set up the lowest people on the earth to judge us. And boy, did it happen.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, boy, did it happen. It happened to the highest degree.
Killed us and burned us.
He said, killed us and burned us alive,
That's right. You see it? And this
misfed us.
put you down there, right there, right to your right foot. See that person on fire?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did all kinds of stuff.
Oh, no.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's over there. Thank you.
Yeah, so how do we get out of this situation? That's the $1 million question. The first step is to understanding who you are. That's a tough battle within itself because there's so many different teachers in these last days. You can be a Baptist, you could be a Mormon, you could be an Episcopalian, you could be an Egyptologist, you could be a non-believer, you could be a Satan worshiper, you could be a freak, you could be a homosexual, you could be a transgender, you could be all these different things. So that's one battle within itself to find out who you are. You just found out who you are. Now what's the next step? Okay, I found out who I am. Now let me find out more ways to be a better me. Because the you now is an Israelite. You have a new name. You're a new creature.
That's
You
right.
can't be a black woman because you're not a black woman.
New creature.
You're not an African American woman. You're not just some regular person in the earth. You're part of a royal lineage. We literally come from kings and princes. Kings and princes don't conduct themselves just any kind of way. They don't eat any kind of thing. They don't talk and speak any kind of way. They don't wear any kind of thing. We lost it all. How do we get it back? We have to learn about our heritage. So what did God command us to do? What do you think?
As far as like the different commandments, or are you just want like a general statement?
Well, in regards to where we are now, we lost everything. We're finding everything, finding out who we are. What are we now commanded to do with this information? And what were we commanded to do from the very beginning?
I mean, as far as like food, I guess eat plants or don't eat meat.
If you want to do that, that's a righteous thing.
Okay.
Hey, if you want to do that, that's a righteous thing. I may even do that myself. But it's not a sin to eat, some meats. Now, the point is the word that I just said, sin. What is sin? Because that's the reason that we're in this condition. What is sin?
I would say the origin of sin is operating in your flesh.
Operating in your flesh. What if my flesh tells me to tells me to not hold the door for an old white man. Am I in sin?
Well,
And he's struggling.
I
Right?
mean,
He's a hey, can you help me? And my flesh said, I'm not gonna hold the door. Are you in sin?
yes, for my
All right, give me
personal
1 John chapter 4, chapter 3 and verse 4.
Book of 1 John chapter 3, verse 4. Whosoever committed sin,
The Lord said, whosoever, whichever person commits sin, what do?
transgresseth also the law.
They transgress the law. For what?
For sin is a transgression of the law.
What is sin?
violating the law.
Violating the law. So a law in America would be what? Don't run the red light. If I ran a red light, I committed a sin in America. Whatever sins in the Bible, if God said, don't do that, when I violate that, I'm in sin.
Right.
That's all it is. Right? Give me that.
The book of Romans chapter 4 and verse 15. Because the law worketh wrath, for where no law
For
is,
where no law is,
there is no transgression.
there's no transgression. So if there's no law that says hold the door for the white man, and I don't do it, I'm not in sin. You see that?
I do what I don't.
Well, I'll say this. I don't know if you've heard this, but growing up I heard this. They said, you better not be drinking no wine, no liquor. You heard that before? Is that a sin?
Ooh, that's tricky.
All you have to,
According to the Bible, I would say yes.
according to the Bible, you
Yeah,
say
I would say yes according to the Bible.
So you have to show me in the Bible where the Lord says, drink thou no wine, drink thou no strong drink. Didn't the Lord change water into wine? Did he just stare at it and look at it, measure it, do a scientific experiment on it? Or did he drink it?
Drink?
He drank, so was the Lord in sin?
No.
He was not. So the world has failed to understand what sin is. If you fail to understand what sin is, you'll fail to complete the mission in regards to God. So that's why we're still here. That's why we're still oppressed by the white man. That's why we're still gunned down in the streets. That's why we still are the least economic people when we created everything. Because we don't know what sin is. And we don't follow God's law. So we're going to give you a few examples of what laws that God said keep. All right, simple commandments. All right, give me the book of, okay, we're going to make it quick, right? Give me Exodus 20 and 19.
Exodus chapter 20.
The Lord said, if you love me, keep my commandments. Right, read that.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day
That's a commandment. So remember the Sabbath day and to do what?
to keep it holy.
Keep that day holy.
6 days shalt thou labor
You got 6 days to labor.
and do all thy work.
Read.
But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
Yeah, we live in a period of 7 days, right? We live in weeks, right? Blocks of weeks. The 7th day is the Sabbath day. That 7th day of the week, right? The first day would be Sunday, so-called Sunday. Whatever you want to name the first or the second day, you can name it day red, right? But whatever that first day of the week is, that's the first day of the week. Whatever the 7th day of the week is, that's the Sabbath day. The Sabbath day or the 7th day of this, where we at, is what day?
I think it's Sabbath.
It is. When do everybody go worship God and be in the church and all this stuff? The first day of the week.
On Sunday. It seems like everybody do it on Sunday now.
That's right. That's the first day of the week.
Okay.
So, are they keeping that commandment? How you doing, sister?
Hi.
Right, so-called black people, Hispanic and Native Americans are God's chosen Israelites. So, are they keeping God's commandments? So now you see why God is just killing Negroes left and right. Oh, my cousin died from cancer. Oh, I got a pancreas issue. All right. Oh, I got a thyroid problem. Because nobody's keeping God's commandments. So we have to come back to God and keep his commandments. Right?
On YouTube.
So the Lord said the seventh day of the week is the Sabbath. That makes sense? And actually the Sabbath starts when the sun goes down. A day starts when the sun goes down. Looking like this. All right, give me Genesis chapter 1, verse 14.
Book of Genesis chapter 1 and verse 14. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night.
What lights divide the day from the night?
The sunlight. The light.
Okay, just the sun, plural, just it?
The moon.
Mm-hmm. That divides the day from the night. So the sun and the moon. What is the reason for those lights?
And let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years.
Their reason, the purpose of them is for you to be able to divide the day and to tell what time it is. Make sense? Go to verse 5.
Verse 5. And God called the light day.
God called what day?
Saturday.
No. God called the light what? Read it again.
And God called the light day.
The light, when it's light out, what is that called?
Daylight.
Daylight, right? Read on.
And the darkness he called night.
And darkness is called night. Check this out.
And the evening and the morning
The evening, going into the morning, read,
were the first day.
the beginning of the day starts when?
Evening.
Evening. What happens at evening?
Everybody going to sleep. Or everybody kind of winding down.
How do I know it's evening time? If I don't have a G-Shock watch, exactly. I don't got a watch. I don't got none of those things. But I tell time by the lights that he made. He said the evening, going into the morning, is the beginning of the day. And what happens at that time? The sun goes down. So that means, right now, we're still in the Sabbath day. We're entering into the end of the Shabbat, end of the Sabbath, when that sun goes down. That makes sense? Did we just buffoon that, or was that plain?
No,
That's right, that's plain upon the tables. It's plain. Right? So, the Sabbath day starts, so-called Friday when the sun goes down. Ends, so-called Sabbath when the sun goes down. And we're supposed to keep that day holy. We're not supposed to work, but the white man got us in slavery. So sometimes, you may have to do what you have to do. Pray and ask the Lord for forgiveness. He'll do that for us. It's the reason they shed his blood. You're not supposed to do, your own pleasures on the Sabbath day, etc., etc. So that's one commandment. We're going to get you two more before you leave, right? Deuteronomy 22 and 5. Let's go.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22 and verse 5.
Right? This is normally when we see if people actually love God. Right, read that.
The woman,
The who?
the woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man.
Neither what?
Neither shall a man put on a woman's garment.
Can I come out here and dress like Medea? Would that be righteous?
No. Not according to the Bible.
Not according to the Bible, not according to nature, not according to God, if you will. Right? It said the man can't wear what belongs or prescribed to the woman, and the woman can't do the same thing. Right? Because our body makeup is created to be a certain way. Right? Why would you wear men's clothing, etc., if that could tarnish your natural abilities to do certain things? That can give you all type of infections if you're wearing men's clothing, if you know what I mean, right? Tight pants, etc., that could jam a woman up. And the reason why that happens is we don't follow God's commandments. That makes sense? So in the ancient world, our sisters had on dresses.
Even while he was in this field.
Yeah, we come from, like I said, we come from a lineage of royalty.
Until we got over here.
Then we got over here, the white man said, you know what? Let's make them freaks. Let's make them vagabonds. Let's whore them out. And it happened. So now we get on TV, we see Little Sexy Red. I mean, not Little Sexy Red.
Just Sexy Red.
Yeah, Sexy Red, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion. And then the little sisters, they get up, they do the same thing. They on TikTok, right? Every picture they post, they face backwards. It's all jammed up out here because we don't follow the commandments. So that's another commandment. All right. So you, as a princess, you have to put on your princess garment and wear that and love it because you are an Israelite.
If you want to be saved.
That's right. So that's 2 commandments. We'll give you one more. Right? So you a vegetarian? Frugivore?
No, I'm trying. I'm trying.
What meat do you eat?
Chicken, steak. I don't eat pork.
Okay, well, we don't got to read Leviticus 11 and 9. So you can't. What do you eat in seafood? You eat seafood?
Well, I don't eat seafood.
Okay, that's good. All right, so we're not gonna read that. Give me Numbers 15. So we're not supposed to eat pork anyway. All right, that's plain in the scriptures. No pork, only pork, and no sea creatures. Right, sea monsters, things at the bottom of the ocean. Those are monsters. All right, read that. Last one.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 15, and verse 38.
It's another commandment.
Speak unto the children of Israel,
Who are you?
Israel.
That's right.
Right.
Read
That's
on.
right.
and bid them that
Bid them. So this brother right here, this is why he's reading mighty to you right now. Because he's trying to bid you over to God. Right? That's why this brother, he's reading mighty to you. He wants you to receive salvation. These brothers love you. You don't even know them. But they pray for you. They fast for you. Right? They throw ointment on their head and say, well, Lord, when I come to camp, I hope that I look like something and represent the Most High so that you can get down with God and receive salvation. So we're bidding to you right now. Bid to them that what?
that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments.
So we have to bid you to make fringes in the borders of your garments. Now, people say, that's in the Old Testament, right? Jesus just wouldn't do that. Jesus actually did wear these. Read on.
Throughout their generations.
See that? So the Lord said, tell them they have to wear fringes throughout their generations. As long as so-called black people, Israelites, are on the earth, they're required to wear fringes in the borders of their garments. Right? Throughout their generations. What is the reason for this?
And then they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue.
Right, so the sisters over there, they got fringes. That sister right there, she got fringes on her purse. so she's trying to be really righteous. She put it on her purse. And then that's what we do, because we people like that. We got the sauce. We the reason that the earth go around. So if the Lord commanded us to do something, we're supposed to do it with all our might. So I kind of got to get like that sister, man. And I kind of got to get something else. I got to do some more, man. Right? Read on.
And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that you may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the Lord.
And what?
And do them.
So the Lord gave that to us so that we can remember the commandments. Right? So if you don't got those on, you're liable. You're highly more liable to fall into mischief, sin, wickedness. That makes sense? So now we know what sin is. Now, if you didn't know about this, well, I didn't know about that. Right? The Lord winked at it because you didn't know. You thought we had to hold the door for an old white man. Oh, I got on my flesh. I should have held the door. Now you beat yourself up. Right? You having dreams about an old, nasty white man. I should have held it. No! We should have wore the fringes. We should have kept the Sabbath day. Right? Things of that nature. And I'm just joking. You know what I mean? But, to make it fun. But the point of the matter is, we living in the last days. This is your second time coming up here, because I remember you. You were standing over there, you was kind of far off, and then you left. I don't think you really got this deep into what we was bringing out. But now the Lord has you have mercy to come up here and hear these words.
Somebody do it with me. That's why
I don't think you was with her, but there was other people up there. She was just standing afar off. I remember. Yeah. You got any questions?
I do have one question.
Okay.
So the first time I came over here, I don't know if that was a year ago or what, but I know y'all gave me our YouTube channel, and I had Google, I guess. Do y'all have like a, I don't want to say a church, but like you know how they have like a mosque? They might have like a recreational center or something. Do y'all have something like that?
Nah, we just have church like how we have it right now.
Okay.
Like, because you're a church, right? You're the church. You're literally the church of with the Israelites. And their brothers here, that sister is here. That's about 3 or 4 people. We're gathered in the midst, so the Lord is here. And we having church. There's a man behind you, he playing the drums. There's another man up there, he got the tambourine. You know what I mean? There's angels rejoicing in heaven. And we just having a good old church service, man. You know? Because God is a God of knowledge. He's a God of wisdom. He's not a God of running around some cathedral doing cartwheels, saying praise Jesus, but after the church service you're gonna eat pork and commit all manner of wickedness and not know no commandments. God's a God of wisdom, knowledge, understanding. How do you think God created the trees to have seeds and for them to never die and to be a revolving cycle of fruit and things of that nature? Have the water cycle and different atoms and your cranium to be able to connect with different elements and things of that. The Lord is a God of knowledge. Right? So this is church right here.
Okay.
Yeah,
I respect it.
And we have a church. Now if the Lord bless us with some type of building or something like that, we'll let you know the people know, hey, we got a building, we're gonna do classes Wednesday night or Monday. But the Lord ain't took us there.
Okay.
I said, yeah.
I respect it.
But we just out here.
I do have one other question. So do y'all like connect with other cities in North Carolina? Because I'm from Charlotte. So
Okay.
I'll be seeing Israelites downtown
Yep,
Charlotte.
yep.
So I'll be wondering if y'all like.
Yeah, we got brothers out there. One of our brothers, Sakari, they teach out there. Brother Assad. There's other congregations out there that we may not have met as of yet. They teach out there. But as far as we know, in Charlotte specifically, Sakari, our brothers are out there near the Spectrum Center. Then I know IUIC is out there. The Lord works with them, use them to push the word and to travel, go to other cities, and a slew of other congregations. But for right now, we're sanctioned here, as well as Raleigh. And Charlotte probably could be coming soon. Could be coming soon. You in school up there or something?
Charlotte?
Yeah.
No, that's where I'm from.
Okay.
I was raised
West Side?
everywhere. I graduated from West Charlotte High School.
Okay, you went to West Charlotte. I was about to go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to go there. My boy Kenny, what? I don't know if you might.
2012.
2012. You know Kennedy Meeks?
Nah.
Come on now, you know Kennedy
Was he an
Meeks?
athlete or something?
Yeah.
I'm not into sports.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, that was my dog. Yeah, he graduated from Kennedy Meeks. He played at UNC.
okay, Chapel Hill.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank y'all for
Most
informing me.
definitely. Most
I
definitely. Do you still got the YouTube channel?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You ain't been watching.
I keep me going live.
Okay, all
Yeah.
praises, all praises. See that, all praises, Brother Jose in this thing.
I'll be
Going
watching
live.
it sometime, yeah.
All praises. See that? Tuning into the live. You see that? All praise to the Most High. But yeah, we out here Saturdays. You know, the brothers do the live, and we just gonna do more to the Spirit if the Lord allows.
Okay, well, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all.
Likewise. And before you leave, we always ask, what's your God-given nationality?
That's right.
That's right. All praise to the Most High.
That's beautiful. It's beautiful, man. Yeah, all praise.
That's why we haven't seen her in a while.
Charlotte. But I remember when she came up. Shalom.
My brother, how you doing?
Yeah, all praise to the Most High.
All praise. We got a sister. We got a sister. How y'all doing, young man? Y'all got 1 second to hear a Bible verse? How y'all doing, family? All praise. You guys have 1 second to hear a Bible verse? To bless you on your coming in and your going. We just want to read a scripture to y'all. All right, young man, what's y'all names?
My name is Assad.
Assad?
Josiah.
Aaliyah. Okay, all praise to the Most High. Y'all believe in God, right?
Yes.
Now, there's the $1 million question. What did God call our race of people in the Bible?
To be honest, I have no idea.
I like that answer because you're honest.
Yeah, that's right.
So guess what? We're going to show you. Because not knowing your God-given name, your biblical nationality, is the reason why we are oppressed people. You know what I mean when I say oppressed?
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay. Oppression is bondage. Oppression is What's your last name?
And
Henry. What language did your people speak prior to coming to America? Or being enslaved in America?
it wasn't Latin, was it?
Well, we spoke some Latin throughout the chronology of time, but our native language will be Hebrew. And that language was stripped from us through oppression. And that is the cause and effect of why we're the least economic people on the earth right now. Would you agree that black people have the less money than other races of people, Chinese and white men? Would you say that we're looked at in a dim light as far as gangs killing each other and rap music? What is rap music about? What's the message in rap music?
Really killing other rappers, to be honest. That's what they dignify.
Killing your own what?
Yo, yeah.
Your own. Does any other race sing songs about killing their own people? Is there a problem with that? So what we're gonna do in the Bible is read about what God said, and we're gonna find out why these things happen to us. That makes sense? All right, give me Jeremiah 17:1. All right, Jeremiah chapter 17, the first verse.
Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 1.
All right, listen to this real good.
The sin of Judah.
The sin of who?
The sin of Judah.
The sin of Judah. Right? Now, y'all ever heard of the Jews?
Yeah.
Who are the Jews?
Going in depth. I don't know.
No, in depth, you don't know. Like, what people call themselves the Jews? Because whoever the Jews are God's chosen people. Right? 'Cause did y'all know that God had a chosen people?
And one of his, like, his disciples.
Yeah, his disciples are Jews, but specifically, there's a race of people in the Bible that are called his chosen people. Right? Give me that Isaiah 44.
Book of Isaiah, chapter 44, verse 1.
Listen to this.
Yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant,
Jacob, my servant,
and Israel, whom I have chosen.
whom I have blessed.
Whom I have chosen.
God said he chose Israel. The Israelites. Right? The Israelites represent a race of people. Alright? Now God said the sin of Judah. Judah, or the Jews, are 3 tribes of the Israelites. It's just a specific family of the Israelites. The sin of Judah, read,
Is written with a pen of iron.
so the Jews sinned against God. What did God do to them? Verse 14.
Verse 4.
Verse 4.
Verse 4. And thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage.
So the Jews sinned against God. God then said, "Oh, you want to sin against me? You're going to be discontinued from your heritage." Because, like, we all have fathers, you know, or otherwise we wouldn't be on the earth. So any righteous father would discipline his children when they did something wrong in the earth, right? So God is the most righteous man. He's the most righteous because God disciplines people. If you do wrong, God's gonna jack you up. What people on the earth is more jacked up than us? Nobody. It's because we're chosen by God. So God said one of the things that he's gonna jack us up with is by taking away our heritage. Your heritage is your land, your language, your name. If you don't have land, if you don't have your own language and your own name, you don't have nothing. Somebody else owns you now. Somebody else possesses you. Somebody else is teaching you. That's a problem. Right?
Right.
Read.
And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies.
So you're going to lose your heritage by serving your enemy. God said he will cause you to serve your enemy. Read.
In the land which thou knowest not.
And this is going to happen in a land that you didn't know about. What does that sound like? I saw your eyebrows raised. How do we get to this land mass? God said that the Jews were discontinued from their heritage, served their enemies in a land that they didn't know about. How do we get to America, transportation-wise?
Shit, right?
The ships, right? Is that in the Bible? Let's find out. Let's see if God said in the Bible that he gonna take Negroes and put them on a slave ship and send them to America. Surely that can't be in the Bible because they would have told us, right?
Yeah.
They would. The pastor would have said something. You would have said, "Hey, you know, you Negro." He would have said something.
Yeah.
So let's find out in the Bible, right? Give me Deuteronomy 1:1.
Deuteronomy 1:1.
Listen to this real good.
These be the words which Moses spake.
Which who spake?
Which Moses spake.
T.D. Jakes spake.
Which Moses spake.
Moses is a prophet, one of the greatest prophets of all time. Moses prophesied and spoke to who?
Unto all Israel.
Remember the Israelites, the chosen people. Moses prophesied to the Israelites. This is what he told them. 11:26.
Deuteronomy 11:26.
Read.
Behold, I set before you this day a blessing and a curse.
A what?
A blessing and a curse.
Would you rather be under the blessings of God or the curses of God?
The blessings.
I would too. But guess what? There's curses of God on the earth too. And when you find those out, you're going to be one step closer to the blessings. So God said he's going to put blessings and curses on the Israelites. Read.
A blessing if ye obey the commandments of the Lord your God.
So speaking to the chosen people, if they keep God's commandments, they'll be blessed. Read.
Which I command you this day.
Read on.
And a curse.
Uh-oh. And a curse.
If you will not obey the commandments.
So if the chosen people don't keep God's commandments, what's going to happen to them? They ain't going to get no blessings. But what's going to specifically happen to them?
They're going to be on the curse side.
They're going to be on the curse side of things. So what we're going to do is we're going to read the curses. The curses, another word for a curse is a punishment. We're going to read the punishments that God said he's going to put on the children of Israel, the Israelites. And we're going to see who the chosen people is. That makes sense so far? All right, so let's read Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. We're going to get straight to the point.
Deuteronomy 28:68.
Listen to this real good now.
And the Lord.
And the who?
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
God said he shall bring the children of Israel, the chosen people, to Egypt again. Y'all remember the story of Moses when he said, Pharaoh, let my people go? You remember that? When Moses said, let my people go, what was he saying, let them go from? Not necessarily, right? Give me Exodus 22, we're going to show you.
Book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 2.
Because Moses went into Egypt and he had to free his people, right? Listen to this.
I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt.
The land of Egypt is where the Israelites were, right? With Pharaoh. What is Egypt called in the Bible?
Out of the house of bondage.
The house of bondage. Another word for bondage would be slavery, captivity, right? So if God said if the Israelites break the commandments, they'll be cursed. One of the curses is they have to go back to Egypt again, meaning they have to go where again? Back to slavery. Did we go into slavery?
Yes.
How did we get to America, transportation-wise? By ship. Now, what's the name of the people that we're reading about? Israelites. God's what? Chosen people. Read that from the top.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Read.
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
With a plane.
With ships.
Does that make sense? That is crazy. That's crazy that's literally in the Bible.
Right.
It's literally in the Bible that God said he would send his chosen race of people to slavery on a ship. No other race of people on the earth can raise their hand as a race of people and say, we went to slavery on a ship. Besides your people. Right? So who are we? That's right. And by us not knowing who we are, that's the cause of why everything negative is happening to us. Right? With ships, read on.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee.
The same way God said it was going to happen, that's the same way it happened. Slavery on a ship, read.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
Read on.
And there
when you get off the ships, guess what God said will happen?
ye shall be sold.
Wow. He didn't say when you get off the ships you're going to have a party and you're going to be live the American dream. He said you're going to get sold. Weren't we sold?
Yes.
That's how your last name is Henry. That's how your last name is what? You see that? Sold to Master Davis on the Davis plantation. And what did they do to us on the plantation? Did they treat us well?
Oh, they worked us, licked us,
worked us, whipped us, hanged us, raped us, castrated us, burned us, killed.
Treated us unlike people.
Treated us like what?
Unlike people.
Unlike people. They didn't even treat us like animals. White people treat their animals better than how they treated us. They didn't even feed us. They gave us the worst foods, like pig ears. Here you go, niggers, just eat the ear. Next thing we know, generations down the line, we seasoning that ear up and say, that's some good ear right there. No, it's not some good ear. Your grandma, your great grandma ate that out of starvation, brother.
Right.
Yeah, when I was a little kid, it was good.
You see that? Now they say something in the world. Once you know better, you what? You do better. So now this is the time. This is the season where we know better to do better. So the Lord said, "There you shall be sold to who?
Unto your enemies.
That's in the Bible. That's also in the Bible.
Oh, that's real.
He said you would go to slavery on a ship. When you get off that ship, you're gonna be sold into your enemy. And nowhere in the Bible did God change that verbiage of who those people are to. Literally nowhere. They're still the same people. That wasn't long ago. The statues are still standing strong where we were sold at. Y'all know about that in the center, right? Oh no! It's called the Market Square House. That's where our people were sold at. And where can we read about that at? In the Bible.
Right.
This is the Word of God.
Right.
The holy Word of God. This isn't the Quran. This is the regular Bible that we read, that the pastor got in every church. And they don't read this. You've been to church, right? And you never heard that. That should make you upset. Like, hold on.
You ain't telling
You
me.
mean
Crazy,
you
my
ain't?
grandma a pastor and I ain't never heard
You
of
see
it.
that? My grandma a pastor, brother.
Right.
I ain't never heard of
But guess what? Your grandma didn't know. How would she know?
No, they're not supposed to teach that anyway.
How would she know that? When I found this, I was mad at my grandma. But then I had to think, I'm like, hold on. My grandma ain't know no better. The Lord is dealing with our generation.
That's right.
For us to find these things out. For us to change the trajectory of who we are. Right? Give me Daniel chapter 12 and verse 9 real quick. Daniel chapter 12 and verse 9. Right, this is what the Lord
Look at
said.
Daniel,
The Lord can hide wisdom for generations.
chapter 12.
You know how people are finding gold and they'll say, oh, we found some new discovery of gold. That gold was there the whole time. There's a set time and appointed season for that gold to be found, for that treasure to be opened up. Right now is the appointed season for you to find out the gold and the mysteries of who you are, how royal you are. You see that? Right, read that.
Look at Daniel chapter 12, verse 9. And he said, go thy way, Daniel,
Go thy way, Daniel. Read on.
for the words are closed up.
The what words? The words of God. They're not open to everybody. God will close up his word. But the words are closed up, read on.
And sealed till the time of the end.
And they're sealed to the time of the end. It's clear that we live in the last days, right?
Right.
So now the word of God is opened up. Now we are able to understand Daniel. Now we're able to go back to Deuteronomy and tie it in with the book of John. Tie Deuteronomy in with the book of Revelation. Tie these things in to understand the mysteries. One of the mysteries, the biggest conspiracy on the earth, is who are you? Who is so-called black people? Oh, they're just black. They're just gonna play basketball. They might sing a song, eat some chicken, drink some Kool-Aid, do a backflip. No, you guys are supposed to be in rulership of the earth.
Right.
Imagine what it would feel like to wake up today and an angel came to you and said, here, my son, you own 10 cities. You'll rule over 10 cities. Not just that, but I'm going to give you an inheritance where I'm going to have this race of people work for you. You now own Tesla. You now own Apple. You see that? Here, my beloved sister, you now are the princess and the magistrate over these rules and these affairs. And you never have to work a day in your life. Here's all your gold, your rubies. Here's your mighty apparel. How would that feel? We don't think about that. We think about, hey, I'm gonna hit this parlay, I'm watching the game, I'm gonna give me some chicken wings, etc., etc. We have to change our mindset because we're supposed to be the rulers of the world.
Right.
Right? So the Lord said, sow to your enemies on what? Bondmen.
For bondmen and bondwomen,
And what?
and no man shall buy you.
Now we just bondmen and bondwomen. We're not thinking about rule over 10 cities, rule over entire land masses. Right? We're not thinking about that. Now, according to that, we only read one verse to you to prove to who the Israelites are. So who are the Israelites?
That's right.
That's right. We're the chosen. I'm going to get one more to prove to you that we're the Israelites. Verse 54. This is another curse that God said he'll put on the Israelites if they break God's what? Commandments. Yeah. There you go, brother. Right, read that.
Verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you,
The man that's tender among you. Read.
and very delicate,
Or woman. The man or woman. Tender among you or delicate, talking about your own people, your own race. Right? Instead of having that tender and delicacy towards one another, if you begin to break God's commandments, God said he's going to allow this to happen to you. Read.
his eye shall be evil toward his brother.
Now you got an evil eye toward your own race of people. What does that sound like? The rappers are talking about. All right, what your cousins and aunties be talking about. Why you can't get along with the family reunion? Why you don't get along with this side of the family, that side of the family? Why you can't start a business? There's a saying in the so-called black culture that says, don't start business with family. Other races start business with their own family. That's what Nestle is about. That's what ketchup is about. That's what all these names is about. A family business. Right? You see that? So the Lord said it was going to become a time where we're going to hate our own race. What else did he say?
And toward the wife of his bosom.
You're going to have an evil eye toward your wife. Meaning the man is not going to have a comely eye toward his woman. And vice versa. And the marriage structure is going to be damaged and all. Right? That's what the whole Canvas Samuel's movement was about. Right? Love and hip hop. It's about destroyed marriages. Yeah, you see that? Read on.
And toward the remnant of his children,
And he's going to be evil toward his children. Check this out. Read.
which he shall lead.
No, he's going to stay.
Which he shall lead.
What that sound like? You see that? Who's known for single parent household?
Black mothers.
You see that? Shaquasia, Shamarian, Tamika, right? Shalandra, Shakilla. You see that? We already know. We already know what it's talking about. Because God said it's in the Bible.
Right.
He didn't say that would happen to the Chinese man, the Chinese woman. They married. Happy life. Father in the life. He family business going. They selling y'all all manner of cats and dogs. Right? While Malcolm is up the street, you know, mad because he on child support because the woman cheated on him or vice versa. And all hell broke loose. So God, yeah, that's madness. So God strategically put these curses in here to show you who we are. Are we making this up or are we reading it straight off? Reading it straight off. The book of God. I mean, everybody got this book. Right?
I got a couple around my house.
See, they got a couple of them. And your grandmother's a pastor, just like mine, brother. Well, we didn't know that. Right? We had no idea. I'm going to show you another verse that you had no idea of. Give me Acts 11, verse 26. Now, we know y'all got to go, so we're going to make it quick. Right? Acts chapter 11 and verse 25.
We always got time for God.
Always got time for God. All praise to the Most High. Well, you don't got to tell me twice, right? Hey, bring it up.
Book of Acts, chapter 11, and verse 25. Then departed Barnabas to Tarsus for to seek Saul.
So you mentioned earlier about the disciples. These are the disciples, right? Now, what is the race of the disciples? Who? You said white people. You see that? You see how you just learned all these things about finding out who you are. But the indoctrination of Christianity, if we say the disciples, if we say the men of God, we say the people that was with Jesus, those had to be white people. Because that's what they taught us. That's the imagery that they gave us. That's what they indoctrinated us with. Right? So surely it has to be them. It has to be. Give me Hosea chapter 3 and verse. Yeah. You know what I'm looking for? Yeah, get that real quick. And give me Job 30 and 30. About to show you.
Hosea chapter 3 and verse.
Hosea, right?
Verse 4.
Hosea chapter 3 and verse 4. For the children of Israel shall.
So the children of Israel, which you just found out is who? The children of Israel.
Shall abide many days.
Many days is like generations. The children of Israel shall abide many, many generations.
Without a king.
Without a king.
And without a prince.
Without a prince. This is who's leading us. Who's the spokesman for our race? We don't even know. Is it Al Sharpton? Is it Dr. Umar Johnson? LeBron James? Michael Jackson? Right? Jay-Z? Who can get up and say, I'm the spokesman for the black race? Negroes. We don't have it. The Lord said the children of Israel shall abide many days without a king, without a prince, read.
And without a sacrifice.
Without a sacrifice.
And without an image.
Without a what?
And without an image.
We don't even have an image. We think about God, we think about an image that was given to us. We think about this image right here. We think about God, we think about the disciples, we think about any righteousness. This is what we're thinking about. This is what was given to us.
Look at Job.
Jeremiah chapter 8, verse 21.
Chapter 30, verse 30.
All right, listen to this.
My skin is black upon me.
Did you hear that? This is Job the prophet. One of the greatest accounts in the scriptures of how he overcame. He said, my skin is what?
My skin is black upon me.
Why is that important? That's who we are. Right? Not to say that he's a black man as his nationality, but the imagery. When you think about God's people, God left that imagery in the scriptures. Because we say, okay, well, what do you think the disciples are? You said they're white. So what we're doing right now is we're spiritually beating that out of you. Right? Because we were physically beat to think that those people were gods. That's what the white man did. You shut up, you nigga, Gail. I'm God. Forgive me with your other cheek. Shut up, you nigga, Gail. Right? Oh, you was reading the Bible when I said you can't read anything in the dark. You had a candlelight. Let me not catch you reading that. And it was beaten. This literally happened. So later on down the line, we're gonna suffer those effects somewhere. Right? So Job said my skin was black. Right? Let's check out what Jeremiah said.
Jeremiah chapter 8 and verse 21.
Read.
For the hurt of the daughter of my people.
The hurt of the daughter of my people, the daughters of my people, read.
Am I hurt?
We're hurt about what our daughters have to go through. Right? Read.
I am black.
Jeremiah said what?
I am black.
Jeremiah said I'm black. We can read 1,000 more. Solomon said it. Right? Jesus Christ is a black man. Y'all knew that, right? So you had a feeling. So you didn't know. Give me Revelation 1 and verse 13.
Revelation chapter 1 and verse 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man.
Who's the Son of Man? That's right. Jesus Christ. Read on.
Clothed with a garment down to the foot.
He had a long garment on down to his foot.
And girt about the paps.
He had a girt about his paps like a WWE wrestler. Read.
With a golden girdle.
And it was golden because he's a king. Read.
His head.
His head.
And his hairs.
The hair on his face and the hair on his head. Read.
Were white like wool.
White like what?
White like wool.
White like wool. Read on.
As white as snow.
There was as white as snow because he was wise. Like this brother right here. This king right here. Right? White as snow. Read on.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
So he had red eyes. Not like what they painted. Like blue eyes and green. No. He had red eyes. Because he's an austere man. Read.
And his feet.
His feet. Because your feet. If you got sandals on. If you didn't have socks on. Your feet is the same complexion as the rest of your body. And his feet.
Like unto fine brass.
What color is brass? That's right. So far, get that guy out, get him out the way. Anytime we read about the scriptures, we don't even think about anybody looking like that other than the wicked people. that are mentioned in the scriptures. Because they're mentioned in there. Right? Like Pontius Pilate, who's a so-called white man. Right?
Alexander the Great.
Alexander the Freak. Right? He was a so-called white man. Now, Jesus Christ was bronze. Read on.
As if they burned in a furnace.
He was so brown it looked like he got burnt in a furnace. Meaning what? That's your uncle, man. He's a Negro. Yeah, Negro, shining, you know. He's a black man. So, right? Go back to Acts chapter 11 and verse 25. Here's the point of why we went, because it said the disciples. So now we know the disciples can't be talking about this.
Acts chapter 11 and verse 25. Then departed Barnabas to Tarsus for to seek Saul.
So Barnabas and Saul are disciples. They're in slavery during the time during the Roman Empire. This is right after Jesus Christ. So the Romans are in rulership over the Israelites, and the disciples are Israelites. Right? Read.
And when he had found him, he brought him unto Antioch. And it came to pass that a whole year they assembled themselves with the church and taught much people.
So they went to this city, right, to teach the people. They were in the church. The church is a race of people. They taught much people. Read.
And the disciples were called Christians first in Antioch.
So who was called Christians first? The disciples. In what city? Antioch. Remember that city, Antioch. So the disciples were called Christians first. These are the first Christians ever. The word Christians means follower of Christ. But now we know that Christ is a black man. Will white people just follow a black man? Just follow him, do what he say, do? White people don't do that. So remember, the disciples were called Christians first in Antioch. Go to chapter 13 and verse 1.
Acts chapter 13 and verse 1.
This is about to blow your mind.
Now there were in the church that was at Antioch.
It's the same city. Now remember, they're in slavery. They're the Romans. Right? The same city, Antioch. Read.
Certain prophets and teachers.
So these are the disciples, the same prophets and teachers. Read.
As Barnabas and Simeon.
Read.
That was called nigger.
They called them what in slavery?
That was called nigger.
That's in the Bible. Yeah, show them. That's in the Bible. It's Niger. When you look that word up, nigger literally means black. So you see how we had to go through all those scriptures to paint the picture together. Right? That's how the Bible is supposed to be orchestrated and read. I'm not supposed to just get up in a pulpit and say, everybody turn to 1 John 3:16. And I said, for God so loved the world. And I said, you see that? God loved the world. You got to love the world too. And I just started going, no, that ain't what this thing is about. God is a God of knowledge. Right? You got to put this thing together. That's right. Exactly. You see that? You got any questions?
You low-key explained everything.
Yeah, like
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Me either. Maybe I'm gonna call grandma and ask.
Kind of loving going to church and not knowing about
Well, here's a little advice. Before you start asking your people those questions, you want to read for yourself. Because our people are so indoctrinated, they may know certain things, and you hadn't read up on it yet. It could confuse you, especially if you hadn't read it. Right? That's why we're out here to answer all of the questions that you may have, so you can be equipped, so that you can now learn and read and be equipped for yourself. So, but going back, now that we know that we the Israelites and we're in this condition, what do we have to do in order to receive salvation when the Lord comes back? Follow his commandments. Because aren't we still in the same place that they carried us slavery? So there's no such thing as I'm saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost.
Everybody saved you?
We still in the same place where we got dropped off at. You get saved when the Lord comes back. So in order to receive that salvation, we have to keep his commandments. That's the correct answer. Now name me 3 commandments before y'all leave. There's 3 of them. Y'all can tag team.
Is it one of them like no sex before marriage?
Nope. There's no such thing. That's literally no such thing in the Bible.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Don't
Somebody told
lie.
me that.
Don't lie.
Let's prove that though. Give me the book of Genesis, chapter 26, I believe. 27, 40. Yeah. 24 and 60, start at 5. 63.
Book of Genesis chapter 25 and 63. And Isaac went out to meditate in the field at the eventide. And he lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, the camels were coming. And Rebekah lifted up her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she lighted off the camels.
So you got Isaac, this man. He was out in the field praying. And you got Rebekah. She was riding a camel. She saw him first praying. So she like, dang, who this man? Right? Read on.
For she had said unto the servant, what man is this?
So she asked her servant, like, yo, who's this man? He out there praying. He's a man of God. Read on.
That walketh in the field to meet us.
Right?
And the servant has said, it is my master. Therefore she took a veil and covered herself.
So he said, that's my master. He's a king on this earth. So she was like, okay, well, let me get myself together. She put a veil over herself to humble herself so that she could meet him. Read.
And the servant told Isaac all things that he had done.
So the servant put Isaac on game. He like, hey, yo, Isaac, Rebekah, she was asking about you. She's like, what's good? I want to know if you down with that. All right, read.
And Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent.
So Isaac was like, hey, she admitted, he asked some questions. She believed in the Lord. She wanted to keep the commandments. So Isaac took her into his mother Sarah's tent. Read.
And took Rebekah, and she became his wife.
He did what with Rebekah?
And took Rebekah, and she became his wife.
He took her, and then she became his wife. What does took her mean?
Probably not just like simply like,
Yeah, he didn't take her and go like this.
yeah, but
You
like,
know, do that to her head and say, hey, rip out. No, he took her. That took her literally means they did that, and now she's his wife. So there's no such thing as sex before marriage. That doctrine was implemented in the world by the so-called white men supporting the ideology of eugenics. Eugenics is the implementation to keep so-called black people from reproducing so that they don't raise up saviors like Jesus Christ. They don't want little black boys to come out into the world, mighty strong kings on the earth, to create some rebelliousness in this slave plantation that we live in and raise up our people with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding so that we can take over the world. That's what they don't want, because we're Israel, chosen people. Right? So they put that energy, that spirit, that doctrine out there to try to put fear in you, to say, well, you need to wait till you're 30 and be a virgin and then you do. No, that's not what he's talking about. So try again. Three commandments. Y'all got this. Y'all need help? The tag team? All right, tag me in. Tag me. All right, give me the Exodus chapter 20. We'll give them the first commandment. The first commandment. 20 and 2 or 3, one of them.
The book of Exodus chapter 20 and verse 3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
That's the first commandment. Have no other gods before the one true and only living God, whose name alone is Yahweh. That's the name of the Father. Yahweh, meaning He exists. He is. Right? The name of God is not Yahweh. The name of God is not Jesus. Right? Jesus is a new word. There was no letter J before the 16th century. It's not even Jehovah. All right? It's not Jehovah. name of the Father is Yahweh. Yahweh. That's right. You said it perfect the first time. So have no other gods before Yahweh. Right? That's one commandment. Y'all know about no adultery.
Like basically looking at other people like
Adultery is committing a sexual act with a person that's already married and promised. Right? A man can't have sex with another man's wife or promise to another man. Yeah, there's a song called Mr. Steal Your Girl by Trey Songz. That's awesome. You see that? So this world promotes adultery, etc., etc. Right? And the Lord did say, if you look upon another man's wife and you desire and you lust unto her, you committed adultery. Right? So you're not even supposed to look at another man's wife and desire. You know what that means, like try to impress them, all that type of crazy stuff. Like how they put in these movies. That's what the white man put all these movies out, promote all type of lust, promote all type of wickedness. So, we gave you one commandment, y'all know about adultery. We will give you a few commandments that are outside of what the world calls the 10 commandments. You heard the 10 commandments. It's more than 10. Alright? So give me first we'll give them the Sabbath day, Exodus 20 and 8. We'll give them the Sabbath day first.
Exodus
You heard of the Sabbath day, right? The Sabbath day? Wow. What's the name of the church? Is it like a Baptist church or a Holiness church? You know what denomination it is?
I think my grandma might be a Baptist.
Baptist.
mine's might be a Baptist.
So the white man created the Baptist church in around, I think it was, I can't remember the exact year, but he created the Baptist church. And that's how we got indoctrinated into those teachings. Right? So listen to this.
Book of Exodus chapter 20 and verse 8.
Right?
Remember the Sabbath day.
Don't forget it.
Remember the Sabbath day.
Don't get down with the Sabbath day.
Remember the Sabbath day.
God said, remember the Sabbath day. Read.
To keep it holy.
Why do you think God said remember the Sabbath day? Because later on down the line, you'll forget it. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy, you know?
6 days shalt thou labor.
How many days can you labor?
6 days shalt thou labor.
Read.
And do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
Which day is the Sabbath day? Okay. What is the seventh day of the week?
It's Saturday.
Right.
They is the Sunday is
Yeah, it's Saturday.
So are people breaking God's commandment?
Yeah.
Straight up, y'all
Every day.
just breaking it.
Big time.
All right, get Daniel chapter 7 and verse 25. Why is that?
How we break it.
Yeah, why are people just going to church on Sunday? They say that's the Sabbath day. It is what it is.
Who was the white man?
They say it's Sunday. They tell us it's Sunday.
Yeah, they say the Lord said it on the Sabbath.
That's right. That's right. And guess what? That's in the Bible. Daniel 7 and 25.
The book of Daniel chapter 7 and verse 25.
Right?
And he shall speak great words against the Most High.
Who do you think spoke words against God? Who is on the earth? Who on the earth that's most proud and say, I'm gonna speak against God? That's right. Now who's the devil? Who has the ability in the money, in the legislation to change one of God's holy days? And he shall speak great words against God,
And shall wear out the saints of the Most High.
and he's gonna wear out the saints of the Most High. How would the saints be worn out? In slavery, through affliction, by his teachings. What else?
And think to change times and laws.
Who changed times and laws? The same person that we're talking about. Right? He is the deceiver. That's what the word devil means. Deceiver. Deceiver. Right? He'll deceive you. And put his hands behind his pocket and just sit there and look at you. With that face they do. I just seen an article today. They said if anybody get caught with a Glock switch, you know what the rappers be rapping about, the Glock switch, you now, it's like a $240,000 bond or something like that, and then you get like 20 years or something. Well, how did little man and them get it in the first place? They dropped it off in the neighborhoods.
That's right.
Right? That's being deceptive. I'm gonna drop something off in the neighborhood, watch you pick it up. So if you get caught with that, I'm going to give you 20 years in prison. That's called being the devil on the earth. Those are devilish ways. So there's people that actually are the devil. And we all know who that is. So the Lord said, remember the Sabbath day, keep it holy. The seventh day is the Sabbath day, which will be Saturday. Now, when is your day? How do I know it's the beginning of the Sabbath? Or how do I know it's now a new day? What time period to know that it's a new day? How do I know it's tomorrow? How do I know when Wednesday starts? Followed by Tuesday. When the sun come up, what you say?
I go by 12 p.m.
12 p.m. Both of those are things that we were taught. Let's find out what God said. Genesis 1 and 14.
Genesis chapter 1 and verse 14. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night.
Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven. What are the lights? The two major lights that God created. That's right. They divide the day from the night. What else is their purpose?
And let them be for signs and for seasons and for days.
For
and
what?
For signs and for seasons and for days.
And for what?
And for days.
And for what?
And for days.
The reason those two major lights is to be able to tell what day it is, tell what time it is. So, Genesis 1 and 5. If I don't got a watch, a G-Shock, or anything, how do I tell time? Read that.
Genesis chapter 1 and verse 5. And God called the light day.
God called what day? The light day. Read.
And the darkness he called night.
And the darkness is called what? That's right. Read on.
And the evening.
The evening.
And the morning.
And the morning.
Were the first day.
So the evening leading into the morning is what? The first day. That's the beginning of your day. What happens at evening time? How do I know it's evening time? The sun starts to set. That's right. Read that.
Mark chapter 1, verse 32.
Read.
And at evening,
When what happened?
when the sun did set.
Yeah. So evening time is when the sun sets. That's the beginning of your day. Like right now, the Sabbath is now over with. We're going into a new day. So now it's the first day of the week. Now people are preparing for Sunday church. Oh, girl, I gotta prepare for the Sabbath day. We got church tomorrow. They put a suit, they get ready with their pork. You know, what y'all want for dinner? Sunday dinner. Oh, we need the pork chops. We need all that stuff. Can you eat pork according to God? Not supposed to, because that's breaking one of the commandments. Leviticus 11 and 7. So we gave y'all two commandments, right? And that was what? Because the Lord told us to keep these commandments if we want to receive salvation. One of them was first commandment, have no other God before the Most High. Second one was, then we talked about adultery. And that was it we gave. All right, so we're going to give you another piece. All right, let's get Numbers 15.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 15, and verse 38.
All right, check this out.
Speak unto the children of Israel.
What did God call your nationality, bro? Who are you?
Israelites.
That's right. Who are you? That's right. So God said speak to who?
Speak unto the children of Israel.
So y'all are no longer just African American black people. We was that when we was in slavery, but now we're coming out of slavery. Now is the time where God is about to save us. And we have to proclaim who we actually are, Israelites. Speaking to the children of Israel, read.
And bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations.
So this brother right here said, you know what? I read that in the Bible. I'm going to do what God said. And what you do?
That's what I did.
He got him some fringes. And then I had to do the same thing. I said, I got to give you some fringes. Right? Then this brother said the same thing. And that brother said the same thing. And that sister said the same thing. And that sister said the same thing. Right? And then millions and millions of people across the world are saying the same thing. The Lord said, bid them that they make them fringes throughout their generations. We're still generating. Right?
Right.
So that's a commandment. Right? To wear fringes. Right? Any questions about that? Any questions at all? Yeah. So that's the word of the Most High. That what? That we're the Israelites. And that in order to come back to God, you have to keep His commandments. That's if you love God. Right? And then once that takes place, the Lord's going to come and save us. from all of the destruction that's about to happen. Make sense? Yes. All praise. So y'all will be Israelites. Right. All right? Y'all should come back out here and see us. We are every Saturday, 3 o'clock until. In the meantime, we got a YouTube channel called Fisherman for Zion. It's on the shirt. If you want to watch some videos, you can Fisherman for Zion on YouTube, where we have more, where you get more understanding of who we are, lessons, and motivation. So, no questions whatsoever.
Subscribe to the channel though.
All praises.
I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah.
Most definitely. All praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High.
It told me a lot of things that I needed to hear today.
Most definitely. All praise to the Most High. How old are y'all, if y'all mind me asking?
I just turned 18.
Okay, 18. See that? Getting the word at 18 years old. How old was you when you found out? 19. See that? He was 19. So, hey, this is the Bible, man. We didn't know about this. So it's our job to take back our heritage. Right? Because the Lord is dealing with the youth. If you don't do it, guess what? We're doomed. See that? All praise. So who are we according to God? That's right. Who are you, brother? That's right, brother. You're an Israelite. Who are you, sister? That's right. We the Israelites. We the chosen. We come from a royal bloodline. Y'all are royalty. We have to start conducting ourselves